You are looking live. We are going to go live today in 3, 2, 1. You are looking live. My name is Rob Helmick, live from the Trading Desk Studios in Daytona Beach, Florida. We are going to be talking about Crazy Ivans today. We're going to be talking about 0dte SPX. Maria and I are up about $400,000 in the last 112 trading days. We're going to show you how we've done it. We're going to go show you every single trade. We got a big breakdown on all the 112 days of trading that we've done so far. We're going to tell you what's been working, what hasn't been working. We're going to show you all of our trades for this week. That's right. No one else does that on the internet. We're going to give you all of our trades for this, not all of our trades, all of our trades for the $30,000 account. And the $1 million account, we're just going to give you some of our trades. One of these days, I'm going to teach you how to fish, and rather than just giving you the fish. So Maria is upstairs trading, but she is going to be on our chat room, which is a safe space today. You ask me any question you want, I'm happy to answer it. Maria will be on there, and she'll be happy to answer as well. We are going to open up here in about 2 minutes, and when we do, I have a sneaking suspicion that we are going to be down big. Let's take a quick look at my in real time. We're going to take a look at my trading account, and boom, here it is. This is my Tasty Trade account. I don't know if you can see my little mouse over there, and you can see these are all the Crazy Ivans that I have on right now, and I love it when they're all red. When they're all red like this. Why are they all red, Rob? People always say, and the reason I say they're all red is because I sell the green ones. That's why. I don't sell the red ones. I only sell the green ones. That's called making money. You notice we got red and green lights today, red and green. I got a sneaking suspicion we might open down, but I got a sneaking suspicion that we might come up. You know what I love to see when I look at all the numbers over here? I love seeing VIX at 31. The VIX average is 15.85, as you all know. So we're at double the VIX. This is the fear factor measurement. And when fear is up, we can sell our premiums for a lot more money. We get paid what we normally get paid 150 on. We're getting 250, 300 points on. So I love that. Let's take a look at the time here. Time check. We got 2 minutes till the open. Let me turn down the ding, ding, ding so it's not too freaking loud here. We don't want to blow the speakers out. Got a fortune invested in the studio. I see, who do I see in the chat room today? I see Rob and Maria, that's me. I see Megan, I see Maria, I see Mario, and I see Malachi. And I know there's a lot more people in there because I can see them all in the whatever you call the darn thing. Please come on in. If you were a winner last night, give me a W. If you were a winner last week, give me a W, will you please? I'd love to see some W's in there. Oh, and let's not forget about Barbie, my dog. If you, we use Options Omega to do all of our back testing. We back test about 7 million trades every single weekend. And I back tested about 9 million this weekend. We use Options Omega. And then I use Options Omega to set my robots that do all the trading for me in both the $30,000 account and the $1 million account. And commercial break here. We have a coupon below for Options Omega, 50% off. They give us $15. We use that to buy toys and treats for Barbie. If we get over $150 in a week, which we have on several weeks, I think last week we got $300, then we give it to the Humane Society. Likewise, we use Tasty Trade. There's a coupon down below. You get 4% back on any deposits. So you put in $100,000, they give you $4,000. It's not, it's pretty good money. They give us $200. We give it to the Humane Society to keep the pets alive over there at the Humane Society. So if you want to save some pets and give Barbie treats and toys, please use our coupons below. All right, let's take a look. We got 20 seconds to go. Let's see what this market's going to do. I'm going to turn it on here, and this is the number to watch right here. Or you can watch. This is the best one. It's 74. That's where we were last week. Here we go. We're getting ready to open. We're getting ready to open. I don't know why I'm not getting a good stream, but it should hopefully get better. I must have been going too fast. There we are. We're opening down. We're down 150 points at the open. We're down 150 points at the open. Here it comes back. Here it comes back strong. Here we come back strong. Come on back. Now we're down 154. Now 163. Now 154. Now 138. Now 128. This should be coming back. I'm hoping for this darn thing to come back just a little bit. Let's see what happens here to show you what my predictions were. Hopefully that stream is still healthy. It's saying that it's not. But I'm hopeful that you guys are still able to see me okay. If there are any problems, let me go. And we are still streaming pretty good. Here we go. Streaming pretty good. And we are, we're down 148, 149, 148, 149. Still holding at 145. Well, so we're holding it down 145. Probably not enough for us to sell some more naked puts. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to change this stream. Does anybody have any drop frames on there? If you're not having any drop frames, I'll just leave it where it is. If we're getting any drop frames, then I will take a little bit of a move from that. But it should be actually pretty good. All right, so this market looks like it's going to hold. It's going to hold right there around 23,165. It's down 140 points, not enough to really do much on my positions. You can see pretty clearly, here are my positions, and you know, we're down about 14 grand, but this is a multi-million-dollar account, so it's not really that bad. And for you, if you haven't been around much on our account, what happens is, because these are all naked puts, is all I sell at Crazy Ivan's, the 14,000 that is down here in the P&L, that just wandered over here to extrinsic. And Maria calls this my savings account, the extrinsic. And then she calls my P&L the checking account, right? And so what happens is you can spend money in the checking account, but the savings account you can't spend, but it just goes over here. And as long as these stay out of the money, as long as all these puts stay out of the money, all this $222,000 will come back to me. So I actually am not worried about it. What we do with the Crazy Ivan, just so you know, we go out 45 to 60 days. So if I was going to put a new one on today, normally I wait till it's down about 300 points. It's only down 125 right now. But let's just take a look and see where we are. I would go out 45 to 60 days. Here's 47 days. I would scroll it down to 12 delta. I like to go at the 750, the even thousands, the 250 or the 500s, not the hundreds. And so I would go, look at these thieves. These market makers, sometimes in the futures, you got to be careful. I mean, look at the spread. It's literally 430 points. It's literally 430 points. What a bunch of frickin' dirty dogs they are. I'm telling you, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't trade that with anybody else's money. So, at any rate, you can see here we're getting $17,000 in buying power. That's normally around $15,000, $14,000. And I normally get about $4,000 in premium because our VIX is going to be up so much. I'm going to get a better price right now. But I sure as heck am not going in with a spread like that. Those dirty frickin' dogs. Can you believe that? Let's just take a look at something a little close. I'm just curious to see if let's look at the end of the month just to see if they're tight. Nope. Look at these markets, 400 points apart. When you have high volatility, that's what you get. I'm not going to mess around with that. We got better things to do. We got bigger fish to fry than to fool around with that stuff. So we will take a look at that in just in a few minutes before we leave for the day. So here's where we are. This is one of my favorite. First of all, anybody else? Look at all the people in the chat. Mario, Malachi, Steve F, Dave Man, Jeff Hart, Dave Man again, Jeff Hart again, Tom Lee. Is Tom Lee all the way from Scotland? Who is the farthest away from Daytona Beach, Florida? I'm going to say Tom Lee in Scotland might be the furthest away. Steve is out there. Who else is out there? Why do I see him 1.5? And D Munded is on there. I don't know if how'd you guys do last week? What did you say? Got a couple of winners. Tom has his on M. I'm not sure what M means. I'm not sure what Tom, by the way, has the best gifts. Tom, I wish you'd get back in our Discord and give me some more gifts. I haven't seen you for a while, and I don't know what we're going to have to do to get you in here. I wish you'd come visit us in Daytona Beach. We'd love to have you. So let's take a look at where we are. Okay, so where are we in this? This is our account as of today, as of the Friday. So we had made 17,000 trades in about 112 days, and we're up about $400,000. And actually, we're up about $61,000 more than that, and I will explain that in just a minute. So let's go through. You know what? Let's go through. I'm going to give you our trades for the week. I know that's what everybody wants to see. Oh, M is for meh. Okay, Tom. Tom's the character. All right, here we go. All right, so we're up $400,000 in 115 trading days. And look at that. Look, I got a little, my grandkids must have done that. So we're making about $3,500 per trading day. Interestingly, 60% of the days have been winners, profitable every month. By the way, we did a study on this, and people on the internet, it is shocking to me how many lies or it's not lies, it's misinformation they have. And you ask them, what is the worst day to trade? And they will always tell you Thursday is the worst day to trade. And let me tell you something. Thursday has been our best day, our most profitable day. So don't always, it turns out not everything on the internet is 100% true, okay? So let's go and take a look what else we got here. Max drawdown is 5.7%. A lot of people target 10%. I know that I got to change my diaper if I get over 10% down. I don't feel comfortable at that point. I know that a lot of people, their risk tolerance is far greater than mine, but I am very careful with money. Some would say I'm cheap. And so 5.7 to me is a pretty big number. I don't like to be over 10. So under 5.7, very comfortable at that level, especially having done 17,000 plus trades. Our Sharpe ratio is 3.28. Hey, let me tell you, that's great. And you might say, well, I don't know what that means. Okay, well, let me give you some examples. A Sharpe ratio that most retail trading systems have will be 0.5 or 1.5. At Easter, when you're at Easter dinner and you're sitting down and you got somebody that's mouthing off to you about trading, just say, yeah, well, what's your Sharpe ratio? They'd be like, what? Well, mine's 3.28. How sharp is your ratio, right? You shut them up in a second, right? So retail trading system, 1.5 to 1.5. Professional hedge funds, your bigger hedge funds are going to be 1 to 2. Your very best hedge funds will be 2 to 3. A lot of 0dte hedge funds are in the 1.5 to 2.5 range. Your elite quant funds, the ones that are with big time, brainiacs and computers and AI and all that, are right around 3. So I'm pretty proud of the fact that we're at 3.28. It is only 17,000 trades, but it's a pretty good number, 112 trading days. So our longest losing streak is 5 days. And that was due to my human error, actually, but it should have been 3. But okay, 5. I can still live with 5. I used to target 12 or less. I always wanted to be under 12. So, by the way, the Qs are now down 162. So, still bouncing around out there quite a bit. Of our days, not only are 60% of our trades been profitable, by using this system, we've had 60% of the days profitable. And you can see, there it is. If I read more, I'd have more information. 59% of the trades. Here is the gigantic mistake I made. I got pissed on March 10th because a kid at the Department of Energy was texting on his phone, as all kids are. And I say kids, 30-year-olds. And he looked up and he sees CNN. It was muted. And a thing comes across the scroller on the bottom saying, our Navy just took a oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. So it's open. The price of oil is going to go down. The market went up 500 points literally in 1 minute. So all my calls got stopped out on my multiple entry iron condors. At 2:04, the Department of Energy realized that the 10:04 a.m. tweet was incorrect and that never happened and that the kid misunderstood or the CNN made a mistake on the scroll. So they had to pull it back. The market went down 500 points and all my puts got wiped out. So I lost I was actually down $77,000 with about 2 hours to go. And I got out for $65,000. My biggest loss before that was $35,000 in a day. So it was really significant. But what really was bad was that I got pissed and emotional. And even though I keep preaching the math is the most important thing, trust the back test. No, I had to be a smart guy. I'm so smart. And so on the 11th, I did not trade. And on the 12th, I did not trade. And on the 13th, Maria said, why don't you go back and look and see how you would have done? And I said, it would have been terrible. It was up and down, blah, 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 blah. Well, what I didn't factor into the fact was that the VIX had gone up. And so I went back, went through every trade, 176 trades on each day. And I found out I would have won $33,000, 226 on the 11th. And I would have won $28,416 on the 12th. So the moral of the story is don't trust Rob, trust the back test, right? So our profit would have been $462,000. Our daily would have been $4,050 a day. Our compound annual growth rate would have been 119%. Our max drawdown would still be 5.6% because it didn't impact that. And so now, women's intuition is a funny thing. Not ha-ha funny. It's just interesting, right? I did not believe in women's intuition until my mother, she would catch us doing things. My brother and I were like, how'd she know? But the women's intuition, when I met Maria, and she knows things she shouldn't know. And she knows things, she can figure out things about me. There's no sense in me. As my dad always said, Rob, you're too dumb to lie. You better just tell the truth. It's like, you got to be pretty smart to be a liar. And so she says to me on some days, don't trade DTEs today. I got a bad feeling. Not a bad feeling. What the hell are you talking about? A bad feeling. So she's 4-2. And one of the days that she lost, it was very small. But the net is I lost $66,000 on those 6 days. So if I had just stayed out those 6 days, if I had stayed in the other days, the days that I stayed out, she said, you might want to think about that. You might want to go back in. So if we had followed Maria's rules, our profit would have been $528,000 in 100 days, $5,289 per day. Here was what our compound annual, someone complained about, how do you calculate compound annual growth rate? There's lots of different ways to do it. This is how we do it. Basically, what that says is we started with $1 million. I see there's a question in here. Someone talks about, how much are you using? We have 2 accounts that we use online. One is a $1 million account. This is the $1 million account. And so we started off with $1 million of buying power. That's the way it's only a fair way to calculate it, really. And so we started off with $1 million of buying power. And what we did is we, as it gets profitable, we reinvest those profits. So we compound them. So every day, if there's more, every week, if there's more profits, then we'd use more buying power. So the idea being that at this point, like today, for this week, we had $1.4 million in that account. So I will use $1.4 million worth of buying power this week to invest in the 0DTEs. All right. Now, the way I do it in my personal account is my main trading strategy is the Crazy Ivan, the 0DTEs in the Qs. By the way, the Qs are down 157 right now. So staying pretty even. So I only invest 30% of my portfolio in the Qs because the margin can go way up and it can explode and they can make a margin call. But it very rarely, maybe once every 8 years, will it triple. It might double once every 3.5 years, but it is highly unusual for the buying power to triple. So if you keep it at 30%, you probably got 8 years before you're going to have, one black swan moment where you might have to either add more money or you're going to have to do something, maybe liquidate some positions. So the idea here is that I had and I keep 5% back as protection. So I had 65% that was doing nothing. I had invested in T-bills. And so I started going on the internet researching. I found out about 0DTEs, and then I started doing those. And Maria created some great spreadsheets for me. And then they started doing back testing. I found out about Options Omega and I started doing a lot of back testing with them. Then they came out with a robot so you can take a back test and convert it into a robot. And that's what I do. And so I trade about 175 robot trades every single day after back testing about 7 million trades every single weekend. And it's all done through Options Omega. And I'm trading in Tasty Trade and in Schwab. 2 accounts. This is $1 million account. Okay. So then people say, well, what about this? And that's in Tasty Trade. So then what about a smaller trade? Okay, fine. Create a $30,000 account. This is the $30 account. Notice that the profit and loss charts are pretty darn similar, but I go back and forth. All right. So in this particular account, you can see that we are up $14,140 in 112 trading days. Okay. Call it 6 months for round numbers. And you're going to say, you're going to be able to see quite clearly that the profits are pretty good. It's pretty steady. We've done 3,207 trades. And again, the first day we did it was $30,000 in buying power. So this week we'll be putting on $44,000 in buying power approximately, right? So I'm about ready to show you that all the trades we're actually going to trade in this account for the whole week, every single day this week. And if you come on our YouTube channel at 3:25 every single day, I'll show you in real time where we are. You watch it all the way through the end. And if you're good, and if you're nice to me, in the chat room, I let them vote on whether or not I should sell an additional put credit spread or call credit spread at 1551. For those of you that went to public school like me, it's 3:51 in the PM. And now the Qs are only down 130. And so what we'll do then is I think Maria told me we're 10-3 or 10-4. We're 10-4. And so, we make sometimes $1,000 winner and sometimes $1,000 loser, but normally it's in that 600 point range, but you get to spend my money. And so far you guys have been buying me dinners and dog treats and whatnot. And it's great. Okay. So let's go on. I know you want to see the trades. That's why everybody's here. Let's see it. We got Barbie. Hi guys. I was down for the week. Oh, Mara, I'm sorry to hear that. How about R for rolling? Yeah. Why do I seem to have Rob in one app? Hi, everyone. M is from meh. I definitely visit one day, hopefully when Tiger isn't driving. Yeah, poor Tiger. I guess I like Uber, and I don't even drink. So, I don't know. That seems like something you might want to think about. How much capital do you use? Oh, I've already kind of I've answered that. $65,000 loss seems big, but if account is 100,000 versus 1 million, 10 million, it makes a big difference. You're right, Jack. It does. And yeah, I don't mean to poo-poo a loss of $65,000. It's a big amount of money. You know what's interesting though, is on that day, and believe it or not, it is great and really important to trade with somebody that you know, love, and trust, right? Maria and I are completely transparent with each other. She has her money and she's a much better trader than me, makes a lot more money than I do. But she's very private. She's a private person. I, however, am a big mouth, yakety, big surprise. And so I, share everything that I do with total transparency. But it is interesting that we tell each other everything we do every single day, and we absolutely own our losses. We've all heard the story of the husband who was trading, stopped telling his wife how his results were because they were bad, and then he lost a lot of money, and he tried to double down to make up, and he lost everything, and, it's a big kerfuffle, and they get divorced, and everyone's in tears, and the kids got no, parents anymore, or they're divorced. So, terrible. Always own your loss. First of all, get your spouse, friend, buddy, grandma, grandpa, anybody, your trading buddy, get them involved in trading, right? That nothing was better than when Maria was not interested in trading, although she'd been trading stocks her whole life, not interested in options until she figured out that she could make enough money to buy Christian Louboutin shoes, which are the red sole shoes she loves. She started working on a system, and she created a system. The first year we traded, she made $4 million trading options based on earnings and stuff. Then she started doing this Maria Shoe Trade. She was on Tasty Trade a lot talking about it. And I ended up making a website about it. If you go to mariashoetrade.com, mariashoetrade.com, www.mariashoetrade.com, you can see Maria's shoe closet and all about the shoe trade and how that was successful for years. She doesn't do it anymore because she's got other ways that make more money than Crazy Ivan being among them. But it is critical that we discuss our losses. This whole game is about capital protection, right? Risk management. And we're not here to trade one time. We're here to trade a long time, Maria often says. And if you want to trade a lot and such that your losses don't matter to you, right? I can go out and go surfing all day long, even though I do 150, 180 trades a day, and I don't worry about any particular trade. I don't worry about how much money I make or lose in a day, a week, a month. The whole game, right? The whole game is how this portfolio does over time. So people ask me, how'd you do today? Don't know. How'd you do this week, this month? I don't know. I got it to show you because I know you're interested. But the reality is I really don't know, and I don't care because I know the math is on my side. I backtest millions. I used to say other people are stupid. They're not stupid. They're just not informed, right? If someone at Easter dinner says, oh, I got to trade for you, man. I'm telling you, and I've been doing this. Some guy on the internet told me I'm doing this. He's done this trade every single day for 10 years. I say, well, there's 250 trading days in a year. He's done it for 10 years. That's 2,500 trades. How's he done? Oh, he's killing it. He's making 90% profit. Sure he is. Okay. Does he ever show you his trade logs? No. Okay, fine. That's fine. I know a guy, me, Rob Helmick, and he does 7 million trades a weekend. And of course I have greater data. I have greater information than that other people do. One of the head mucky mucks at Tasty Trade, I told you his name, you know who it is. He said, Rob, I'm watching your videos. And when he should have been watching his channel. And he said, you back test in one weekend more than I traded in my entire life on the floor of the exchange. And your AI remembers all of them because I take all my results, I feed them into AI, and then it gives me the best trades. And he says, not only did you trade more each back test, more trades in a weekend than I traded an entire year, you fit in the AI, it doesn't forget anything. So of course I have a better probability of winning because I have a lot better information. I don't know if it's better. It's more. Let's leave it at that. But the results speak for themselves, right? I mean, there they are. So, okay. So here we go. Monthly, right? Here's the monthly. I know you're interested in the monthly. And look, January, we made a little bit of like $2,000 or something, but it's fine. We're monthly and we're up this month and we're going to, fingers crossed, knock on wood, we'll have another winning month, right? Weekly. we've had some down weeks. Of course, we've had some small ones. Now, as you can see, the one that got me is this one. You can see my biggest weeks. I thought it was 35,000. Might have been maybe 20,000 was our biggest week down. I thought it was more, but maybe our biggest day down was 35,000 maybe. But even when the days are down, it comes back. And this was the double tweet day. This is a $65,000 loss for the week, and I lost 65,000 in one day. So that week itself would have been, pretty much zero. So again, and that week would have been great if I had just hung in there, but no, human intervention and stupidity. So, okay, I'm going to give you these trades now. Here they are. We're going to show you the entry time, the premium. I use two strategies, multiple entry iron condor and exponential moving averages. I use the 20 versus the 40. Okay. A multiple entry iron condor is a put credit spread and a call credit spread. We're going to talk primarily about the shorts. I have a lot of videos on this. Go to the five-part series. See me? Five-part series video. And on that 5-part series, in 29 minutes, it tells you everything we do, shows you all the gory details of what happens. It's extremely boring, but if you can get through it, it's worth your time and you can understand what we do. All right. Before we show you the trades, one final thing. Apple cider vinegar with iced tea. 40 years can't go wrong. My lawyers say this is not financial advice. This is purely for entertainment purposes only. You can and will lose all your money. Do not follow us. It's a surefire method to lose all your money. Past results are not indicative of future performance. Having said that, let's go to the trades. Okay, so here they are for the 6 trades a day. Now, this is by time, obviously. It says by time. Here's the time. This is East Coast time. And here's the little formula. These are called tokens. Between the dashes, they're called tokens. The first token, that's $300. That means $3 for the short leg, for each short leg. These are all multiple entry iron condors. They're all M's. And the Qs now are only down 100. Now it just broke underneath 199. So it's moving to the upside, which is not good for us. I like it down. And we can get more money. So, okay. So the first token is $300. That's $3 on the short leg. And then the multiple entry iron condors, the stop losses are all 95%. The wing widths are all 50, and the profit targets are all 100. So $3 on the short leg. So $3, we're going to try and get $3 on the short put, $3 on the long put. That's $300 each is what you're going to get. And they're going to pay you $300 on one side and $300 on the other side. You're going to enter them at the same time at 954, and you're going to have a 50 wide wing, and it's going to be a 95% stop loss. Setting stop losses is very complicated. Watch my videos on that, the 5-part series. It goes into excruciating detail about how to do the stop losses. It's something that is critical. You need to know. There's a lot to this, right? It's a lot like chess. I can teach you how to play chess in about an hour, but I can never make you into a master, right? It's easy to learn, impossible to master. All this trading stuff, easy to learn, impossible to master. If you're drinking from a fire hose today, don't worry about it. This is the way everybody is right from the start, including yours truly. Okay, someone said, can you show them by, okay, here they are by time, right? Here they are by profit loss. Like, well, I can't put on all of them. Show me the most profitable ones. Okay, top to bottom, you can see the ones at noon is the most profitable, which is a $225 or $2.25. Multiple entry iron condor, 95% stop loss, 50 wide wing, 100% profit target. Now, you'll notice that it's supposed to be 6 trades a day at a $30,000 account. Not a $30,000 account. It's not 6 trades a day. Why? Because that's where we started. Okay. So right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And these are going to be about $4,000, maybe $5,000, not more than $5,000 because we got a wing width of 50. So we're going to see in there that it's, if you got 10 times $4,800, it's 48,000, and that would be more money that's in the account. So you might not be able to put that last one on if you run out of buying power. And if you're getting close to the end of the day and you don't have enough buying power, don't put them on. But a lot of times you'll get stopped out on 1 or 2 sides on a trade, and you'll have more buying power at the end of the day. And so people have asked me for an extra one. That's why I have it by time. So you can see that 234, you may not go in on it. And you can see, profitability. You say, well, geez, I'm just not going to put on the 1022 because it's the least profitable one. And maybe I won't put on the 954. I'll just do the others. Again, you're not going to copy us. This is what I'm going to put on. And I'm just going to put them on. I'm just going to tell the robots to put them on. And if it comes down to 1434 and there's not enough buying power, the robot what'll happen is Schwab will just reject it and it won't be a trade. Okay. So now in the big account, I used to give you guys 20. I'm cutting this way back. I want to encourage you to learn how to do this on your own. So here they are by time. Now these are getting a little more complicated. We've got the times there, East Coast times, but you notice that we've got a mix of multiple entry iron condors and exponential moving averages. I've just got one EMA in here. Notice that these are all 150 wide wings, but notice that the stop losses are different. They're not all 95%. Here's one that's 225. Here's one that's 185. And notice that these premium targets are quite varied, okay? So, and here they are by profit and loss, the most profitable one being the one at noon, and the least profitable of these being 1132. Having said that, this is the result of 7 million, maybe I think it might have even been 9 million trades, all right? So, and I looked at AI, I put them in the AI. AI gives me the top 200, 250. Then I limit it down to the top 200. Then I run it back through AI based on some risk tolerance metrics I use. And we look at profit and loss. We look at max drawdown. And we look at the buying power required. We look at the compound annual growth rate. We look at the MAR ratio. We look at the Sharpe ratio. We look at the Cortino ratio. And we look at some internal metrics that we designed ourselves. So there's a lot that goes into this to figuring out what is the best trade. And what's best for me is probably not going to be best for you. Okay, we each have different risk tolerances, different account sizes, different goals. You know, I'm probably older than most of you. So my goals and aspirations are probably far different than yours. Okay. So I'm going to leave this up here just so you can take a look. I am very partial to the people trading the smaller accounts. So I'm going to leave this one up first. How about ARPA rolling? Guessing all strategies are private? No. All of our strategies are far from private. In fact, they're probably highly public. How do you backtest Maria's intuition? Yeah, don't know. I just asked her, do you follow your trade on YouTube? Yes, you can follow all my trades on YouTube, but most importantly, go to YouTube and come here on Monday through Friday at 3:25. Maria comes on a couple times a week, and she normally comes on Sunday, but we thought it'd be a huge down day. It's down 118 right now. But Maria and I are on there all the time, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I got a lot more time Monday through Friday, because I don't have any set program. I just kind of wing it. And then now I'm doing a program on Options Omega. It's supposed to be for a half an hour at 9 o'clock, but we did 2 hours this Friday, but it was the first show. So, but anyway, come on their show and you can talk to me all you want. How do you backtest so much? Again, it's not as hard as you think. The first time I backtest, it took me about 22 hours to do 7 million, maybe even 5 million backtests. I now got it down to, I think Maria said it was 14 hours this weekend. And so it is a time consuming process. I've hired 2 people to help me, and I'm thinking about getting some people overseas as well to help me. There's a lot more that I want to do. Right now I'm just doing multiple entry iron condors, and I'm doing exponential moving averages. But you can imagine if you're doing, say there's 390 minutes in a trading day, you're going to do every 7 minutes, that's 55 trades a day. Say you're going to go back 6 months, that's 250 trades, 250 trading days in a year, 125 in your test. So you got, say, 55 times 125. And then let's say you're going to do 10 premium points. So maybe $1, $1 quarter, $1.50, $1.75, up to $5 or whatever. You got 10 of those. So now you got, somebody do the math for me, 55 times 125 times 10. And then you got 10 stop losses, 5, 25, 50, 100, 150, whatever there might be. And then you've got 10 more profit targets, whatever those might be. And you're going to, not profit targets, those I've set all to zero. So you got stop loss, wing widths. So you got wing widths, 5, 10, 15, all on up. And then you've got 2 strategies. You got a put credit spread and call credit spread. I think that comes in right around 97 million trades. And then you got exponential moving averages, and you got to do the put credit spread and call credit spread on all those, right? So I think it comes into about 97 million. If you do every minute, you're coming around 97 million trades. Every 7 minutes, it's going to be, 1/7 of that, whatever that number is in the 10, 15 range. And then you just start whittling off some of those parameters, and you get it down to about 7 million trades. And like I say, it takes quite a while to do it. It takes a lot longer to run it through AI. It took me 9 months to build AI because I take all those trades in spreadsheets and I dump those into AI. And you got to have the high-end AI thing to do it. And then I spent a lot of time teaching it to give me the information the way I want. I'm calling that Phil. Now I used to use, Maria has one called Vera. My AI is called Phil, Phil, because I always say, Phil, get a Phil. And so Phil's out there trying to get a Phil. And Phil also is going to help me program my robots and do more back testing. And so what I want to do now is I want to add, reverse iron condors, opening range breakouts, exponential moving averages. I use the 20 versus the 40. And so I'd like to do some variations on those. I'd like to do some 1 day. I'd like to do some 7 day. I'd like to do some 923s, 9 day versus 23 days. The problem is you have to look at the buying power and the compounding on that, because the great thing with 0DT is, number one, there's no overnight risk. And number two, you get daily compounding. So I can use that buying power over and over and over and over again. So even though I make a small amount of money on each trade, I can do a lot of them, And so it takes a lot of computing power to compare all those things. But basically, I want the algorithm to start doing this. Another thing I'm very, very interested in, and one thing that I'm working on with my quants, is to reuse buying power during the day. Why only use it on a daily basis, right? Why say, well, you've got this, whatever, I'm using, $1.4 million worth of buying power today. By noon, let's say I've got 200,000 has been punched out. Why not reuse that 200,000 later in the day? I'm still only using 1.4 million, but I can reuse it. So my total investment for the day, even though I got 1.4 million, I might be able to make 1.6, 1.8 million worth of investments. And if those later day trades are still, profitable, if those trades, later in the day, where we got here, if those trades at 14.13 and 14.34 are still profitable, why not, up the ante on those trades? And so then you can, use that buying power a little bit more. So would you ever consider setting your Crazy Ivan equity curve? Would love to see how it performs, not monetary value. I don't have an equity curve on that. Honestly, this is something that Maria and I just do. And it has proven to be extraordinarily profitable. I think we used to track all of our trades and it just got to be too much. But I think that trade has made no less than 52% in any particular year since 2020. So, but yeah, I'm happy to share it. I'll take a look and see if I have those numbers still. Question: in numerous videos, you mentioned that while others are selling over here, you sell the SPX over there. Can you explain more precisely what you mean by this? I would love to. Maria hates it when I do this. It drives her nuts. So that's a little added bonus for you guys that are married. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's say that there are millions and billions of people that want to sell 0dte SPX tomorrow. They are all trying to decide where they're going to be selling puts and calls. And they're watching TV and they're watching gurus on the internet and they're watching the news and Trump and they're looking at charts and up and down. And as a group, right, let's not think of psychology, the study of one person. Let's think of sociology, the study of groups of people. And let's agree that within a large group of people, there will be a significant size group it has the same set of information. It's going to move the same way, right? So assume that these people all have pretty good information. It doesn't have to be great and it's not identical, but it's pretty good and it's pretty similar. Based on that, they're going to make a decision to trade in a certain way. So they're going to trade over here, all right? And you can ask them and they'll tell you why. Oh, the KGAR and the VARP or the VIP or the BIC or the block or blah, 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 some three-letter thing or the chart and the candle and all this and the VIX and the blah, 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 blah. No. 0DTE has nothing to do with the market. You are just betting against somebody else. A lot of times it's a hedge fund. It's you against them. It ends at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what the earnings reports are. It doesn't matter what the investment in Walmart or Walgreens is going to do that day. It doesn't matter about the value of a stock. All it is who's selling them here and who's buying them there. That's all it is. It's just you. And on every trade you make, there's someone on the other side. So that group of people is going to sell generally over here. They're going to be selling, $125, a stop loss at 125%, and they're going to do it with, let's say, a wing width of 50. Okay. Whatever it is. So if there are people that want to buy premium, we just sell. They want to buy premium over here. Over on this side, there's nobody selling. Over here, there's a whole bunch of sellers. There's a bunch of sellers here, very few over here. So over here, these sellers, they got to lower their price, right? They got to lower their price because there's so many darn sellers. Over here, this is where we want to be. We don't have to lower price. In fact, we can raise our price. So while these guys are selling for $1, we're selling for $1.50. That's all there is to it. Now, both of these things have positive expected value, right? Because premium sellers always have positive expected value. And it just varies based upon the amount of premium that you can get. So what happens is when there's a bunch of people over here selling, they can't get as much as the single person over here can get. Think of that movie, Trading Places. Remember? And they're getting ready to sell orange juice. And Eddie Murphy goes, they go, now? No, wait for it. Mortimer's like, wait for it. And it's going down and down and down and down and down. And then it's going down. It's going up and up and up, whatever it's going. And he says, I'm buying orange juice. And the place goes nuts and they all run over to him, right? It's like when the house is on fire, we're selling insurance. It's the same thing. So what we want to do is which one is it? We want to be over here, right? We want to be over here and these are over here. And that's the whole game. So that's what it is. Now, how do we do that? That's the $1 million question, right? We don't guess. We just do back tests and we just say, well, here's where they were. Here's where they were for the last 6 months. Are they going to be here next week? I don't know, maybe. But we looked at 7 million trades and the top 250, the biggest group were in this top 250 was where the most sellers were of the 250 top trades over here. So those would be the ones I want to trade over here. Those top 250. Are they going to be the top 250 this week? Probably not. Are they going to be in the top 1,000? Maybe not. Are they going to be in the top 100,000? Maybe. Probably. It's probable. Probably more probable than not. And if you go back and look at the results, it turns out that is the case. It is predictive. It doesn't tell you which ones are going to be. Number one probably won't be number one. The number one trade for the last 6 months will not be number one next week. But it might be in the top 1,000 or top 100,000, and that's good enough for us. That's good enough for us. And that's why we want to trade a bunch of them, right? Because we don't know which. Some of them might be huge losers, but it's highly unlikely. And so if we trade a bunch of them, we should be able to be in the winners. And look at the results. I mean, the results speak for themselves. It's crazy. It's insane, right? I was telling Maria the other day, I wish it wasn't so good because people don't believe me. I don't know what to tell you. You can see it in my account. It is what it is. Qs are down 116, so all staying the same. All right, let's go back. Let me show you. I'll keep showing you these trades. The 6 trades today are more interesting to me. In numerous videos, okay, yeah, Maria, that's right. Do you look at trades without stop loss, manage risk with width of the strikes? Curious about your back testing methods. I wish I had time to do that. The only reason I use a wing is to lower the buying power. Okay, when you are selling a naked put in the SPX, it costs you $79,000 in buying power. If you put in 150 wide wing, it costs you $15,000, and you don't have to pay hardly anything. It's like $5. So I'm selling them for $2. I'm paying $5 for insurance. If you don't have much money in your account and you can't do $15,000, like a $30,000 account, so let's say you want to do 6 trades a day, you can only do $5,000 per trade. Then you need a 50 wide wing. 50 wide, simple math. 150, $15,000. 50 wide, $5,000. 150 wide, $15,000. 50 wide, $5,000. Let's get the math right? So, and then you take out the credit, and that's the total buying power. All right. So, as you get closer to the end of the day, the buying power actually goes down. So, in my example, in the large account, when I'm buying the $150 wings and it costs me a nickel, near the end of the day, I can bring that nickel, and it gets pretty close. The thing is that in the small account, to do a 50 wide wing might cost you 50 cents, right? Or 60 cents. So you're getting $2, but then you got to pay 50 cents for the insurance. So it's a bit of a screw job. The smaller accounts, the whole system is set up against smaller accounts. It's all set up in favor of big accounts. Why is it? Why is that? Because the bigger accounts set up the system. So, we want to get in, get our money, and get out of there. That's what we want to do. That's our game. All right, that's our game. So let's take a look and see. Excuse me. What else? Other questions? What kind of software were you using? I use options, and there's some new trader in there, RKS39 and Timothy Sorber and Lewis H192 and On Lang Banker G. Oh, Dean Osborne. I see a bunch of new. Anna 666, Kevin Barry, Jack Morris. I think Tom Lee I saw before. Okay. So now let me take a quick look here at the Tasty Trade account. So what software I use? I use Tasty Trade to trade, right? And Schwab. I like Tasty Trade, a little easier for me. It was the same Scott Sheridan who built Tasty Trade, good friend of Maria's. And we were having dinner with him one night and we were talking about it. And he came up with, built Thinkorswim with Tom Sosnoff, and then they left and they started Tasty Trade, and they built that software together. And they said, we built it from the ground. Scott said he built it from the ground up, and he, was able to put in a lot of features that they didn't have over at Thinkorswim. Now, Thinkorswim also has got a lot of new programmers, and they've obviously upgraded their product. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty good product. I will say that. All right. So finally, let's take a look and see about this. See about this market. It doesn't look like we're doing much. It's down 130. So, you take a look at it, you can see where it is. It's not really that exciting. And let's take a look at back here to this. Get an idea of where we are. So what AI software? Oh, the AI software that we're using. We use a ChatGPT $20 version. It's great. It's wonderful for writing things. It's great for creating images on spreadsheets. It's pretty good. I would say it's like a 7. It does forget things, which is frustrating sometimes. We have looked at Claude and the Claude $100 a month version, which includes Claude Chat, Claude Code, and Claude Project. And we have been testing that. And so far the testing has been pretty good. But I have a sneaking suspicion that whatever Claude can do, that ChatGPT will just come out with eventually, right? They're not going to let them get ahead of them in the marketplace. So there's a lot of stickiness to it. Once you get all your information in, Maria spent 9 months teaching Vera how to analyze her. Maria basically gets up in the morning and says, what's going on in the market? She gets a report from Vera that she helped Vera, design. She just tells Vera what she wants every day, to make it better. And then Vera asks her questions on how to make it better. And then Maria takes a screenshot of her positions and she gives that to Vera, and they start talking about how to manage those positions. And then she's monitoring whatever, YouTube channels and TV, whatever. And she hears about a stock that she's interested in, and she just starts with Vera and says, tell me about this stock. And Vera creates a report that Maria has customized, and it's constantly in flux, that report. And then she and Vera talk about entry points and strategies and how to manage it. And it's something that I highly recommend. People have asked us to build an AI. I suppose we could build one, but the problem is everybody's different. Our lawyers are a little hesitant to do that. God forbid we build you something and then you use it and you lose everything. I mean, that would be, number one, I'd feel terrible. And number two, you'd probably sue me, and I wouldn't want that. So I don't know that you'd win, but a lot of times that doesn't stop lawyers. As a recovering lawyer myself, I can tell you that is the case. If you don't know, if I haven't said, my background is I was a lawyer for a long time, and then I started a couple internet companies and sold them and took one public, and I retired at age 42. And then Maria and I have been trading together for 25 years, but we didn't really start trading options full time until 2020. And Maria figured out a way. She did a lot of spreadsheets on how to trade earnings weekly. And she used to be the number one female house flipper in the United States. And she sold a couple houses for about $1.8 million. And we put that into Schwab. And 52 weeks later, we had 5.8 million. So she had made $4 million in about 52 weeks, 54 weeks. And actually she made more than that. But we always say 4 million is kind of a round number. And we've been trading together ever since, of 2,100 days, she told me the other day. And it's great. And it keeps us close, keeps us something to talk about. You married folks know what I'm talking about. And gives us a lot of common ground. And also, we don't do any revenge trading or anything like that. We have a rule that we are free to tell each other what we think about ourselves or trades or our appearance. Apparently, that's one of the things that she mentions to me quite often. And the idea is that we run a safe space, and it is always that person's trade to make. So I am responsible for all my old trades. She can get right in my face and say, no, 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 no. And if I choose to say no, I never go back and say, it's because of you, dear. It's always because of me. Likewise, it's always her decision. And Tyler, our 30-year-old son, He trades every single day, and we have the same rule with him. And he has gotten great at owning all of his losses, right? He's almost proud to tell me about his losses. And that's how we learn. It's great. You always can learn from other people's losses. That's why you'll see on this channel, a lot of my videos are about my losses. I am an educator at heart. I started the largest online education company, I think, still in history. Still has educated more people, I believe, than any other company in the world. It was bought out by Pearson Public, took it public, then they bought it for about $500 million. And they have been using it ever since to educate billions and billions of students as the largest book publisher in the world, I believe. And so my background, my grandparents were all educators. And so that is something I truly cherish and something I truly enjoy. And that's the real reason I started this channel. That's why we don't charge anything. My grandparents want me to start charging or start a school of some sort, which I might do at some point and, have more one-on-one type classes or something like that where, you'd have to pay for the technology, but we'll figure that out. Right now it's all free. So I'll be happy, learn what you can while it's free, because you never know, Rob might start coming to get you. So let's see what else we got. Do you look at trades without stop loss? No, I have a stop loss in every single trade I've ever made. I have 7 yellow stickies on my computer. One of them says always, always, always have a stop loss. Okay. Always. Be careful if not properly structured. AI is nothing more than a fancy curve fitting exercise. I agree with you, Joe Walker. I agree with you. Careful. That is so true. And Too Late Jake says he's going to be selling puts tomorrow. I'm fighting the trend. Yeah, I sell puts every day. If I can, Maria sell puts every day. The Qs are down 162. Every night I go to bed, I said, oh, please, Lord, protect Maria. Please protect Barbie and Tyler, our dog and child, in that order. And after protecting Barbie and Tyler, please, Lord, let the stock market go down 500 points in the Q tomorrow so that I can sell some crazy Ivans. It only happens 8 to 12 times a year. So it's happened, we went down Thursday 500, Friday 500. Doesn't happen often. And this is when we get a chance to really sell those premiums for through the moon. And it typically will come back in 22 days or less. You know what? Let's just take a look. Talking about trade. Let's see if there's any more questions. Yes, AKI can do strange things. At times, it's only the tool for the master. Yeah. I love your project going forward with more back tests on different trades and DTEs. Do you plan on sharing any results in the future? Tasty trade on steroids. I plan on sharing everything. If anything, I am too much of an open book. I talk a lot. And as it turns out, I wake up every morning and Maria says, shut the F up. And I just think to myself, I'm alive, man. I know it's going to be a great day. She likes it to be nice and quiet, and I just like to jibber jabber. Can you imagine being married to me? It's got to be, you got to look for the volume, right? And turn it down. She loves it. I come down in the basement and talk to you guys, and she gets to talk to Vera. And so it's a relationship made in heaven, thanks to you guys, actually. So let's take a look at, let's see. So yes, I plan on talking more and listening less. Can AI do strange things? Yeah. No thoughts on SPX being up or down. I hope that volatility stays up so that the contracts will be rich. Do you adjust your trades based on VIX during the week since you back test on the weekend? I do not. I don't adjust based on VIX. I have heard from others that they don't think it matters. In my experience, it doesn't matter, but my experience is limited, right? It's only 17,000 trades. So what I plan to do is, with these two guys that I got helping me, is I plan to do a lot more back testing. With Options Omega, there are right around 150, 250, what would you call them? Characteristics that you can trade for. So adjustments you can make to the back test. So there's almost an infinite number of combinations that you can do. And I plan on doing as many as I can because I'm always on the lookout for a better way to trade. If you, by the way, if you have a better trade, send it to me or put it in the Discord. I will gladly backtest it, right? I got nothing to do but backtest all day other than go surfing and swimming. It's a little cold out right now. So if I could find something to do all day until the water gets warm, which is about April 15th, I would really, really appreciate it. April 15th, I'm not going to be doing much during the day but swimming and surfing because that's what I like to do. So I don't care about the VIX. Other than the fact, my crazy Ivans I care, but for 0DTE, I don't care. What happens is you're doing a multiple entry iron condor. Basically, you got to put credit spread, call credit spread, and you want it to stay in the middle, right? That's all you want to do. You win both sides. If it goes out through one side, you win one side, lose one side, you're about break even. The only time you lose is the old M&M, right? Remember the kid makes the the tweet, it goes up 500 points, and then they take it back, goes down 500 points. That's the killer. That's the killer day. And that happened at 10:04 and 2:04. That's the killer. If it would have happened close together, it wouldn't have mattered, right? Because I only would have gotten a couple of them punched out, and the day keeps going, and I would have won later on in the day. But yeah, it was the parade of horribles, right? My max loss, I believe, is right around $35,000 a day, but for that one, which was 65,000. Okay, so I don't do that, and I put them on Sunday, and I'll be damned if I'm going to change them during the week. That's not my game. I put them on. I trust the back test. Let it play out. Let the numbers play out. Trade small, trade often. If I'm trading small enough, it just doesn't matter. All right. Do you have stops on the Crazy Ivans? I do not. Okay, but kind of. Let's take a look. Okay, here's my positions, right? So I think I already showed, but I'll show again very quickly. Going to go out 45 to 60 days. We're going to go to 12 delta, bonkity, bonkity, bonkity. There it is. And we're going to sell this. Look at this. Now we're getting, now remember it was 400 or something like that. Now we got a nice spread here. And it's a trading show. Let's make it, first of all, doesn't do any good if I don't show you the screen. Okay, we're going to start over. So here's my positions. Let's go to trade. I'm going to go, this is the Qs up here. It's down 140. It's not really enough, but we'll go ahead. Let's clear this out. And so now we on 45 to 60 days. You can see it's 47 days. I'm going to roll down to 12 delta. Here's my delta. It says 12. That's where we want to be. Doinkity doink. And it says 219. Maria says she's from New York. You never take the retail price. You never take their first offer. That's exactly what retail price is. That's the price they cannot sell it at. This is the midpoint. So we're going to put this in and say, let's say 242. 42 is me and Tyler's favorite number. So 242.50. And we're going to go doinkity doink. And we're going to say yes. And look, 13,000 buying power, get 4,800. We normally get 3,800. Now we're getting 4,800. Sweet potato pie. We love that. And doink. And what do you know? We got ourselves a trade. I mean, we got ourselves a working order, right? And we put that out there. And why do we call it Crazy Ivan? Because we say, oh, you're at 219. You want to give us 242? If you give us 242 and you're crazy enough, I tell you what, how about this? How about you give us 252? So if it goes to the market crashes, right? This thing goes down to 400 down. We'll go out to 252. Boink, boinkity boink. We'll put that one on. And now you want to get really crazy? Who wants to get crazy? Anybody want to get crazy? Tell me crazy in the chat room. Write down crazy if you want to get crazy. Let's go out there. Look at this. I'm gonna say, how about a similar order? How about 262.50? That's how crazy they got to be to come get me. And look, you might say to yourself, well, that never happens, Rob. Bullshit honky. That happens all the time. I cannot tell you how many trades we'll get at the middle of the night, and it will fill. Okay, it absolutely will fill. So now, what about closing out my positions? All right, so let's say, which is my worst position here? Here it is right here. 22,250, and it's at 23,188. So I always roll down and out if I get within 250 points. Look at that. There's some crazy. Here's some crazy. All the times you show US is the same for each days of the week. Yes, it's all those times I show are US. All those times are East Coast times. It's the same every day. I put on 176 trades every single day this week. And last week it was 172 trades. And in the small account, I put out 10 there. It depends. If none of them get punched out, it probably only get to about 8 of them before it'll hit my limit. Because I think we got about 42,000 in there right now. But if you have a bad morning and they get punched out and we get to use the buying power over it, we'll go in later in the day. Look at all the crazy Ivans out there. We got to love that. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to say, okay, well, we want to roll. Let's say that it gets down within 500 points. So this drops another 680 points tonight. Excuse me. And it gets down to 22.5. If this gets down to 22.5, I'm going to roll it. That's what I'm going to do. So let's just pretend like let's roll it. It's a trading show. Let's trade. So we're going to go out. This says we're going to go out 40 days. What is it right now? Right now it's right now. Where are we at? Right now, this is out 19 days. Okay. We're out 19 days. So in 19, by the way, and just so you know, so you can see, Here's my extrinsic is 50,000 bucks on these right here. See this? So if we stay, if this 22.5 is the strike price, if it stays, if this number does not get down to 22.5 in the next 11 days, I get all, where's that 50,000? If I, in the next 19 days, if it doesn't get down to 22,250, I get to keep all this 50,000 bucks. So this is going to start coming my way if the thing doesn't drop anymore. If it starts to flatten out or go up, man, it's all going to come over. It's going to go from the savings account right into the checking account. Oh, daddy's going to be happy, right? But let's say that it doesn't and it keeps dropping and we got to roll this thing. Okay. So we're going to go, we're going to roll it from April 17th and we're going to go out here to May 8th, but that's not even a month. That's not enough for me. I want to go out. I like to go out 60 days. Uh-oh. What's that? Do we get a trade? Who's that? Oh, that's Maria. Or it's Tyler. I'm not sure which. It's probably Maria getting a fill. So here we go. So I'm going to go out. So Tasty's got this little thing here and watch this. It says 40 days. So now I'm going to hit the plus button. That's 47 days. And that's 61 days. So that went from 19 days to 61 days. That's only 40 days. Let's go one more. That's 80 days. It's a little far. Let's go 61 days. Okay. Now you see this is a credit. I don't need a credit. I need to be down and out. So we went out. Now let's go down. So now we want to take this and go doinkity, doinkity, doinkity. And you were watching this thing where it says credit down here. Okay. And we want to get this down to the first debit or just before the first debit. So 221, still a credit, still a credit, still a credit, still a credit. Really? Still a credit. Me likey. Still a credit, still a credit, still a credit. See, look at this. 1875, still a credit. And we're going to go here, 20, and there it's a debit. No, we don't want a debit. So we want a credit. All right. So we're going to go from 22,250 down to 20,500. So that's 1,750 points down. You got to like that. And we're going out another 42 days. 42. That's Tyler and I's favorite number, 42. He used to ask me questions. I said 42 is the answer just because I picked it. Happens to be Jackie Robinson's number. Every single Major League Baseball player will wear 42 one day this year on the same day. So that's how you roll it down and out. It's very simple, very straightforward, gives you more time to be right. And you pick up a little credit. And what happens if it keeps going down? You roll it down and out again, down and out again, down and out again. And we take these off at 25% profit. So until you get 25% profit, down and out. Now, someone said to me, Rob, what happens if it just drops like a rock? And let's suppose right now we're just chitter-chattering and Trump drops a bomb or Iran drops a bomb on us and it goes down 1,000 points. Okay, and by the way, you need to practice the parade of horribles. Practice the parade of horribles always so you know exactly what to do when something bad happens. You don't think, you don't blink, you just do it. If it goes down to 250 and Maria at 500, she rolls them. She doesn't think about it. She doesn't blink about it. She doesn't waffle back and forth. You do it like a robot. And you need to have that mindset because if that thing's dropping, these are the rules we follow. We follow them for a reason because these test out the best. We've got lots of experience, done thousands and thousands of these over many, many years. It is the best trade going. I learned it from Nick Batista and Mike Butler over at Tasty Trade, the young bucks over there. I said, gun to your head, one trade, rest of your life. What would it be? Naked put in the ES. Maria calculated, did some spreadsheets. She said, no, NQ's better. We had dinner with those guys and they said, yeah, NQ is probably better, but we can't say that on TV because it's too risky. NQs are riskier, but we talk about their management techniques. Okay, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do if it's dropping like a rock, right? Dropping like a rock, I go to close position, right? And what I do is I go down here and this is our position right here. I doinky doink. I just drop in. I just buy a put right there. Buy it. Don't think, don't blink, just buy it. So let's say I sold this thing for 200 when I first sold it, 250. And now say I got to buy it for 400, if it's went down another 1,500 points. Say I got to buy it 400, 450. Yeah, I get it. We're going to lose on that trade. Yes, I get it. We're going to lose on that trade. It's going to take us one or two trades to make it back. We normally win every 14 days, so it might take a month to make back the money. That's fine. But I got good news for you. The good news is if this market turned around and I paid 450 for it, a week from now, I might be able to sell it for 300. So my net loss is only 150. And remember, I sold it for 200. Now, granted, I'm going to only take 50 out of it because I'm probably going to close it at 25% profit. But the idea is I can stop the bleeding. Or what I can do is I can close this out and I can use the credit to roll it down and out at that time if it just comes back a little bit. This is the emergency brake. Stop. The other one is pumping the brakes, right? So if you're not in an accident, the cow didn't just walk out in front of your pickup truck. If that happens, if it just drops like a rock, boom, do this. If it's slowly trending down and it gets down to that 250 or for Maria 500, that's a red line. That's a hard stop. It's not negotiable. It's just do it, right? Again, this is not trading advice. This is not financial advice. This is what I do. This is for entertainment purposes only, right? Educational purposes only. You can and will lose money. Use your own discretion. Do your own back testing. Make your own analysis. Consult with your experts, family, friends, advisors, lawyers, whatever. Please do not just follow me. I'm just telling you what I do based on my experience. All right. For most people, Thursday seems to be the worst day to trade 0dte. And I remember said it's your best day. Why do you think that is? Maxwell, first of all, that is a great question. And I'll tell you my answer. Whenever I get these questions all the time, Rob, why is it that this happens or that happens? And my answer is always, I don't freaking know. I don't know. I cannot for the life of me figure out why the herd goes where it goes. It's over here and then it's over here. And I'm just going where they're not. It's so easy. Once you think about it, okay, I'm not trading the market. Take the market out of it, right? Because you don't want that groupthink that the herd has. So you take out the groupthink. Say, I just want to go against these guys. And they're not fools. It's just that they don't have the information that we have. They don't have the groupthink that we have. They think that if they lose 5 days in a row, that their system doesn't work. Guess what? My system lost 5 days in a row. I'm up 40% in 6 months. Woohoo! And that's on 17,000 trades, right? Do I worry if it's down 12 days in a row? No, I don't. I don't worry because I know it's a numbers game. I lose 40% of the time. Can you imagine if you were a professional baseball player? I mean, those guys, they got to have the brains of a pebble, right? They got to have the brains of a pebble because they cannot think about what they're doing. If you said to them, well, you're going to have a job where you lose, if you're the best ever in all of history, the best ever, you're going to only win 4 out of 10 times. Well, what kind of a dope would take that job? You got to have an unbelievably strong mind to do that mentally. Likewise in trading, we know, what do we say? We win 59, 60% of the time. Well, I got to tell you, I went to public school and I know that means I'm going to lose 40% of the time, right? So if you're losing 40% of the time, you need to educate your wife, your husband, your spouse, your friend, your buddy, your partner, your grandparents, whoever your trading buddy is, you need to tell them, I'm going to lose 40% of the time. And then when you lose, say, see, I told you so. You're going to lose 40% of the time. That's okay because we know over time we're going to win, right? What do we say? Over time, we're going to, where's my favorite? There it is. Right there. We know over time we're going to win 400 grand in 6 months, 17,000 trades. Are you kidding me? That's fine. When you roll down and out, do you ask for more than the mid price? Yes. I should have said that. Maria gets mad at me for never saying that. But yes, you're 100% right. I never ask for the mid price. That is just their opening offer. And so, like, let's say that I'm going to go if just an opening trade and enrolling them though, I don't mess around. Don't mess around when you're rolling them because you don't want to get left high and dry, right? You don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish. But when I'm going in, so let's say this is 47 days. Well, you saw me, you right? Did I get filled, by the way? No, I didn't. Okay. I would have. By the way, why do I not watch the charts? Because I don't care. I put it in. It's crazy. It's crazy. If they fill this at 442, 242, I mean, they're offering me $215. I'm saying up yours. I want $242. And if you're crazy enough to do that, my next one's at 252. And if you're nuts about to do that, I'll do 262. And by the way, these are good to close. So that means these things are going to go all night, 4 a.m. I cannot tell you how many times Maria her phone goes bloop, bloop, bloop off, and she makes a big trade at 4 a.m. all the time. It's those Asian guys. They come on and then they get nervous at the end of their trading period and they start paying way too much money for it. And I love that. So what's the next question? How do you know where the others are so you don't go there? Backtesting. That's what backtesting all is. So all backtesting says is that of the 7 million trades that you're looking at, Rob, the 7 million types of trades, there's this group of 250 trades over here. For some reason, we don't know why, it got the most amount of premium. And it lost the least amount of time because we look at what was the profit and loss, what was the win percentage, right? What's the compound annual growth rate? What is the max drawdown of that particular trade? What's the MAR value? What's the Sharpe ratio? What's the Cortino rate ratio? We have some internal ratios. So all we're saying is we don't know why, but these trades over here, these 250 trades out of 7 million, they paid the most money to the people that sold them. Don't know why. So if someone comes to me and says, I got a great trade for you, I always say, great, tell me all about it. Then I want to back test it, right? And I throw that into the hopper. And if it turns out to be one of the top 250 trades out of the 7 million or whatever, I'll trade it. Sure, why not? Why not? I am trade agnostic, right? 100 trade agnostic. And frankly, I'm a little double calendar curious. I am. I'm a little opening range breakout curious. I'm a little bit reverse iron condor curious. I would love to be able to do those. I do exponential moving average 20 versus the 40. I'd love to do the 20 versus the 60. I'd love to do the 15 versus the 20. I'd like to do the 25 versus the 73 and a half. I just don't have the manpower to do it and the computing energy and the stamina anymore to do it. So I'd like to do that. Why? Because if I can find just one, that's needles in a haystack, right? If I can find those needles in those haystacks, I know where the haystacks are. I just don't have time to go through them and find the needles. But if I could find some more needles, that would be great. All right, now I'm about ready to wrap this up. Any more questions? We're not doing the mobile app. You're not going to be able to do any back testing on the mobile app. Albacore, I set the alerts on the mobile. Oh, yeah. Oh, setting the alerts on the mobile app. Yeah, actually, it's quite easy. Tasty Trade has a lot of videos on that. And there's a little clock, alarm clock, and that's what it is. You set it, and you can set it, tell me if the cues go above or below a certain price. I do it based on the trade price, not the bid and the ask. Yes, I'm double calendar. Oh, you're double calendar curious too. Yeah, double calendars, a lot of people like them. Again, I will tell you, someone asked me about Thursdays. All I can tell you is, we've only traded 112, whatever it is, days. And so it's not, so only 1/5 of those would be Thursdays. So 20, 25 Thursdays. And we don't have that many in the bank, but it has been the best day. And that surprised me as well. And by the way, call credit spreads pay a lot more than put credit spreads. And everyone tells me that's not true. It has been for us for 17,000 trades. So one more time through the trades, here they are. You can always go back and see these later, just do the shorts. Anything else? If there's nothing else, we've been chit-chatting here quite a while. I know it's been a long time. Let's take one final look at the Tasty Trade screen. We're down 145. Look at this thing. It's just bouncing around. It looks bigger moves in it than it really is. There's no conviction in this market. And, when I see the VIX at 31, I'm going to give you, first of all, the market's unpredictable, and I can prove it to you. If anybody could predict, if you see people on the TV say, I'm telling you, the market's up tomorrow, or Microsoft is down tomorrow, okay, they don't know. They don't know, they can't know, and they'll never know. And I can prove it to you. If they did know, they wouldn't tell you. They would just take all their money and they'd put it where their mouth is. And they don't. And there's a reason for that, is that they cannot predict it. The market, it turns out the herd moves around with wild abandon and no one can predict it. No one ever has. Did you know that of the 2,700 largest funds, the New York Times did a survey, looked back over 7 years and discovered how many of them beat the S&P 500? 3 of those 7 years, zero beat the S&P. So if you're thinking about putting money into a fund, I would research that. Look at the article in the New York Times about how many funds beat the market, and you will be flabbergasted. Now, it's a little bit older. I understand it's aged. That article might be 7, 8, 10 years old, but it's a very, very interesting study on what beats the market. What these funds do is when their fund starts to get tired or not perform well, they just create more funds, right? So then you say, well, I don't like this fund lost. And say, oh, you got to go over to this fund wins. And this one loses, and they'll say, oh, how about this one over here, that one over there, this one. And they just move you from fund to fund to fund to fund to fund. And the dirty little secret, of course, is most of those funds just invest in each other. So the idea is they'll just end up, matching the market, something you could do on yourself without any management at all. So something to think about. All right. Thank you guys very much. Remember, 325 Monday through Friday. We'll be here. I think Maria's going to be here on Friday for sure. And she said she might come during the week as well. I hope you have a great trading week. If any of this has been of value, could you please go? I know you guys, come on, man. Go to some of my videos. Just click on the video and say Claude or Tyler or Barbie or Maria or Rob. Something, right? Team up, team down. Any little comment in the videos really, really helps. If you could just go to 3 videos, the like and subscribe is great. But man, the algorithm has been telling me if I can just convince you guys to go into the comment section and say something, even just one word, I guarantee you I'll write you back in 60 minutes or less, and we can have a conversation. And I would really appreciate it. It helps our channel. I hope you guys have a great trading day. We'll see. Oh, you know, another thing, I wanted to read the quick news. You know, oil is over $110. That's crazy. This is a news-driven market. Volatility over 31, we knew that. This is a headline-driven market. And when the volatility is so high, this market gets, the SPX gets real wide. And my feeling is it's going to be pretty good this week. But you never know. You know what the chances are? 50-50. I asked Tyler any question. I say, Tyler, what do you think about this? He always says the same thing. 50-50. Throws it right back in my face. Watch your buying power. Have fun. Great show. Thank you very much. And that's all for today. Hasta la vista. I'll see you tomorrow at 3:25.